Welcome to the Bernadette Jackson Podcast, where we are redefining how the world views women with daddy issues by discussing topics, sharing stories, and gaining insight, all from the perspective of a fatherless daughter. I'm your host, Bernadette, of BernadetteJackson.com. Today, in the fourth installment of my 6-part series on fatherless daughter trigger points, we're discussing 3 ways we struggle in relationships. If you know my story, you know that I have been very vocal about the fact that all of my romantic relationships have failed. What I didn't realize was that it was because of my unresolved daddy issues. Prior to getting intentional about my healing, I experienced the 3 fatherless daughter trigger points I want to share today. In fact, I still struggle with them from time to time. If you remember a couple of episodes ago, I mentioned that the desire to control everything was a really popular FDTP that many fatherless daughters struggle with. Well, experiencing constant anxiety that something will go wrong is the FDTP that explains why. Our father loss is likely on a very short list of the significant events in our lives that has not gone the way we thought it would. This has set a precedent for how we process things, in that we believe that most things in our lives has the potential to end just as badly as our relationship with our father did. Constant anxiety that something will go wrong begins to be our norm, and we respond to this anxiety by desiring to be in control, desiring to be perfect, mothering our significant others, and becoming the caregiver to our friends. Keeping our hands in all of the pots and taking over tasks for our loved ones not only helps us to manage our anxiety, but it makes us feel like we are useful to them. The father-daughter relationship is supposed to be the first teacher a girl has to show her exactly how she should be treated by a man, what a man's love looks and feels like, and how to interact with him. When a girl doesn't have that education, she struggles with the second FDTP we'll be discussing. Many fatherless daughters have no real understanding of how to give and receive love. It doesn't mean that she doesn't want it and doesn't desire it. It just means that she doesn't know what it looks and feels like or how to show it in return. With intentionality, this can change, but until then, she will find herself in relationships with people who are either emotionally unavailable or losing the opportunity of a great relationship because she doesn't understand her partner or their needs. The third FDTP stems from the same reasoning as the second. Because we are not taught how to interact with a man in a healthy way, we view conflict in relationship as a sign that the person will leave us. In response to this, we not only try to avoid conflict and confrontation as much as possible, but we push people away so that we can leave them before they leave us. I know it sounds extreme, but for a fatherless daughter, the thought of being abandoned by a loved one again is something we will avoid at all cost, even if that means that we control how we exit a relationship with a person we really want to be with. I'm sure you can remember a time when you had such a bad argument with someone that you thought for sure you wouldn't be able to recover, and in response to feeling that, you ended things instead of trying to work them out. I can raise my hand and say that I've been down that street a few times. What has helped me from going over the deep end and doing something that I later realized was to understand what my triggers are. It helps to know what your pattern of behavior is and why. That way you can decide how you will respond to triggers instead of blindly reacting to them. So just to recap, the 3 struggles fatherless daughters experience in relationships are constant anxiety that something will go wrong, no real understanding of how to give and receive love, and pushing people away during conflict so that you can leave them before they leave you. I hope you found this episode helpful. If you have, send me a DM on IG at Bernadette N. Jackson. That's BERNADETTENJACKSON. I love hearing from you. A new episode drops every Tuesday at 9 a.m. So I'll see you in the next one. Bye.